All right, everybody. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully, the ads have finished rolling. I do apologize if some of me yapping gets cut off here. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to be coloring the other OC for the commission that I'm working on here. I promise I will still get to SJM's OC art raffle. I just really have to finish this first. The client is patiently waiting, so I don't want to keep them too long, and this takes priority. So let me go ahead and get over here to the screen. And we got the second character here. We have Roa. Basically, Octavia has become a Dark Queen, and she's done some bad things, including killing Roa's lover here. So Roa is going to be overthrowing her. So I tried to. I'm going to try to convey a lot of that, like anger and resentment and whatnot, through like the colors. Also going to put some tears in her eyes here towards the end here to show that she's like really upset that her lover's been killed. I do have to pick the colors. I'm not sure if I like this white and gold color scheme they have here in this reference, but in all the other references that I have, she has red eyes, so that's something I know for sure I could pick. So I went ahead and did that. And I think I'll stick also with this like plum colored undertone for the hair. So let me go ahead and I'll start filling that in next, since that's a color I know I'm going to use. And then we'll have to figure out the color for the outfit. I was also thinking red because Sorry about that, Pensy. I was yapping away and I was talking about how the cats are being a terror again and they must have brushed up against the cords because they've discovered that's how they get attention. So my freaking mic was pulled out and I had been talking for like, I don't know, probably like the whole freaking time. Just yapping. I was talking about how I love having pets and I love cats and stuff, but they're like disruptors of like everything that's going on. And lo and behold, right as I'm saying that, self fulfilling prophecy, they just completely kneecap me in my stream. Oh, I'm glad. I was trying to get across her emotions of like what's going on here. I was explaining like pretty much like design process and this and that but that whole time. So like all that like wonderful, great, important information I was just like spilling out is lost to the ether. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mentioned that you must have when you said you liked the character, you must have had a bias because she's similar looking to Pensy. So, but I changed her. I changed her hair from like the references. Like I was saying earlier, she has more of like a bob kind of cut, but I changed it to more of like a messy wolf cut kind of bob because it's easier to show energy, emotion, you know, that kind of thing. So that was my whole like thought process behind that. Alrighty, so I got that all filled in. So the next thing we can do, because I haven't figured out the rest of the colors yet, is I'm gonna grab the skin color. I'm actually gonna grab it from this reference here. Oh yeah, she's mad because Octavia killed like she had finally gotten someone that like genuinely like loved her, according to the client's lore, and the blonde one killed them. So she's here to overthrow the blonde and avenge like her the death of her lover. So I wanted to make sure that I conveyed that. Like that's a big thing that's missing from a lot of people's artwork when they do like character work is the storytelling aspect of it. So like when I do like the OC art things, it is actually really nice for me to get like you know, like the characters like deal, like their backstory basically. Because that gives me more information about like you know how to design them, how to draw them, what they might be feeling in the image that I've like you know chosen. This client was very thorough and very helpful with their lore. In fact, I saved it all as a text file in case I needed to refer back to it. So I'm very informed about the characters, which is nice. It allowed me to do like this like you know whole brand new like design for them based on the lore that I was privy to. So I've like pretty much been like watching like nonstop YouTube videos about like improving my character design and my character work to try to, really achieve that like professional level. Always have to strive to improve. Always got to try to get better. It's important. Oh, no, I totally get it. You probably got some pretty strong stuff for your tooth, so I know when I had my wisdom teeth taken out, they gave me Vicodin, and I got a little too happy with the Vicodin, so I was like a spaceman floating around with my moon boots. You know what I mean? You know what? This is all gonna get covered up by other colors, so I can go ahead and just do that. It has some smexy thighs still available there. Tried to keep some of the, I tried to make the characters' outfits look really cool and practical and like the time setting, but still be like, sexy in their own ways. So seemed like it was an important aspect for the client. So I did my best to convey that. And we can do the iris on the scleras, the eye whites as well, because we have the skin color tone. So you basically just want to take the skin color tone and desaturate it to almost like a gray, and you don't want to make it pure white. Oh shit! It's Baby Boy Cloud's birthday. Nice. He's like kicking his feet in his room, looking at his Sephiroth posters. It's my birthday. I probably shouldn't be so mean to Cloud, but he is definitely obsessed with Sephiroth. Nice. Yeah, I saw that. I was getting ready for stream, so I didn't have time to comment on it yet. So I'll go back and comment on it and repost it for you. I always love that you do the cosplay pics with your OCs. I think that's an awesome idea. Havoc had me doing that a little while when we were first trying to do our sexy novels. Ooh, nice. Oh yeah, Claude is definitely like so disappointed when he found out that Sephiroth was evil. He was like, man, that's one pretty man. I'm a wife him. And then whoops wants to destroy the world. Not 100% a deal breaker, but all right. So I'm thinking with the outfit, I could either do like this other reference I have for her, where She has mostly black and then has like red as an accent color. Or I could do it the opposite where the black is the accent color. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Like a more desaturated, like red and then black for the accent. Yeah, true. I want to be Soldier because Sephiroth is Soldier and he's hot. Alright, let's see. We're going to do outfit, main colors. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try for a desaturated red with black accents, and then I need to pick like a standout color for the top. So I'll figure that out. That's near like the face, so it sticks out. Yeah, that was a little bit of an oopsie on his part. Might ruin someone's perception of their hero. Just a little bit. Yeah, they fixed it. It's all right. They're like, you got red on you, and they like washed it and gave it back. All right, we're gonna see how this looks, and then we can always change it because we are digital boys and girls and everything. So we have the technology. I think it's going to look pretty good as red so far. Oh crap, I didn't get the skin down there. Let me go ahead and get that real quick. I'm a Digimon, guys. That's why I can change things. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. I am Art Anakimon. And I will digivolve into Mecha Professional Art Anakimon. That's my next evolution. I'll have missile launchers on my shoulders. Because why not? Yeah. That's another thing with Final Fantasy 16 is like people are probably mad because like all the dudes in the game are hot pretty much other than maybe like Gav and Otto and some of like the other like just random people out and about. But all of like the MC characters are like, God damn, that's a pretty dude. That's a pretty man. Got me blushing over here. Jeez. I also appreciate it because Clive has a beard. It's not a full beard, but it's the first time a FF Pro Tag has had any sort of facial hair, so I will take it. Like there was I think like one character in 12 that had a beard who was originally supposed to be the main character, and they ended up changing it because they're cowards. but but yeah, other than that, like pretty slim pickings otherwise. Oh, well, actually Noctis does end up with a beard. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that. Noctis also grows into being a true man as well. A very admirable feat, if I do say so. His character development was man. I can't decide if I want to put red anywhere else. I think that's probably enough on the outfit. I didn't get up in here though. Let me get that.
What the fuck? It's not letting me in.
To your work computer? Oh, you found the cord?
Good, it's telling me that my monthly plan expired.
What? That's not true. Otherwise, mine wouldn't be working.
Right.
I don't know. That's weird. I'll have to see if I can get into it in a little bit. Let me make sure I save. Yeah, he's definitely on the cuter boyish side, you know. That's for sure. All right, let's put some black and see how that goes. I never make anything pure black though. I usually start as like a darker gray, so we'll do dark outfit. Try not to like make the color palette like too crazy. You know, sometimes it can get a little out of hand. There we go. Yeah, see, they did it here too, where it's not pure black. They did like a dark grayish blue, which I think I will also use. You know what? If it isn't broke, then you don't need to fix it. So we're gonna. And I have these parts as being like a thicker leather. Oops, I need to fill this in red right there. So I'm gonna find my. I have a brush for leather textures, so I need to find that. That. Make sure I get all of this filled in. So when I do the final touches, it applies over the whole thing. I'm not sure what color I want this scythe to be at, but we'll probably use similar colors to the. I'm kind of thinking about making this back one a little bit of a different color too. I don't know. Might be kind of neat to have that offset so it's a little like. I mean, it's already asymmetrical with like the shape language on it, but you can also do asymmetry with your color choices. So. Oh yeah, yeah. So I ended up going with the scythe because I actually had a 3D model that looked pretty good. I just changed the look of it. Um, The other side, of course, if you could see, it would still have like the circular thing, but it's like behind the character, so you can't really see that part anyway. But but yeah, slices are pretty mean. I did want to change it to more of like an anchor, but it just didn't really work out for what I was trying to do. So figured it was safer just to keep it as a scythe. Apparently, like IRL scythes are a very impractical weapon, but they look cool. So we're gonna roll with that mentality. You know what? For now, I'll make the back one black too until I decide if I want to change that color. Because we still have like a lot of room to change, colors if we want to. So we haven't committed to anything yet. We're just filling it all in. I'm gonna back it out, flip it each direction, see how it looks, see how it reads. It's important to observe and analyze. Don't just like immediately settle for like the first thing, your first idea, unless it's like an absolute banger. Then you're just like, all right, this and this forever, that's fine. Like if you kill it on the first try, you know what, pat yourself on the back, that's great. But you want to make absolutely sure that that's the decision that you're going with. Oops. Sometimes you might just like really, really, really want to use a color for something, but if it doesn't work for the image, then you need to do what's going to actually work for the image, not just, what you want to do. Like, unless you're going to dedicate yourself to like completely changing the image to make it work, which you can do, but, that's a whole lot of work down the drain, so I wouldn't recommend it. I'm definitely going to change the color of this buckle, because otherwise it'll just blend in. But since we're working in layers here, I can slap this color over top for now. Make sure we're not missing any spots. Oop, we got some red underneath that is not filled in, so let me get that right here. I also haven't decided on this like little side floof over here, the color for that as well. But we're definitely going to be doing like some sort of pattern or some sort of texturing on these really large parts. And I want the her tights underneath to be like a different color, like her stockings here underneath are going to be a different color. So this is basically like a black leather. Only a tiny, tiny, tiny bit practical for defense. Just a smidgen of practicality. That a sword or blade swipe across it might, not immediately go through, severing the very large arteries in the leg. That's what we're going with. It's like the micro bikini of maximum defense. The impregnable micro bikinis. Well, it does have the highest defense stat in the game, so might as well equip it. Right after that, you can go teach a middle school sex ed course while wearing it. So it's too late. You've seen it all. The birds, the bees, and the micro bikinis. Son, we need to have a talk. Sit down. We need to discuss micro bikinis. Old school anime was also like super notorious for that. It's like here's a big busty cat girl in a micro bikini. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just really funny that was the choices made.
Like, how does gravity work? Hey, shut up.
Hey, shut up forever. I need you to get all the way up off my back about this. Oh yeah. Well, welcome to the stream. We were discussing the history and practicality of micro bikinis, so you're welcome. That's so funny. That's like back in the day in Monster Hunter where you didn't have layered armor. So like you're like, man, this armor has such better stats, but it looks like trash. I'm gonna go ahead and take this monster bikini instead. And then life will be complete. I'll just have to be a better hunter. That's what it really was all about. It's like, how good of a hunter were you that you could just wear a micro bikini instead of like valid armor? Ooh, you posted a goth mommy pic? Hell yeah. I'll have to check that out. You're just killing it over there, Pensy. You've been just like cranking them out. I'm proud of you. Is your hand feeling like way better now? I know you had like injured it like a while back. Let's see. So I'm kind of thinking this front shoulder guard might be a good point to put a different color. one that stands out really well because it's like really close to the focal point of the image. Kind of like I did with Octavia, where she has the kind of like peacock color, like fur boa that brings like the attention to like the face area. Should do something similar over here. I might even actually use like the same color. That would be kind of cool because it's like diagonally across from each other. So that might work out pretty well actually. You know, we're at the like the flats point, so it can always be like adjusted and changed. Like, you know, I could take like a hue slider and slide it around and see exactly what fits for it. So we'll mess with that in just a moment. I want to just get the rest of this like black leather areas filled in. Let's see. Get the colors in the lines, Aniki. What are you doing, man? Nice. Yeah, I like your angel character. Especially, you know, I'm not biased about like characters being badass with like an eye patch, so you know, I vibe with that. And put this as like a little accent on the dress part. Oops, looks like we got some red where it's not supposed to be. She's got red on a. It's like a Shaun of the Dead reference. If you guys haven't seen it, that movie is fantastic. Such a funny movie. I love it. Oops. Almost missed that. You know, maybe we can use it in a couple different spots. That might actually be good. I don't know. I'll figure it out in a second. I just want to finish getting these other areas filled in. Wow, I was like real sloppy with the red up here. I'll have to fix that as well. But that's okay. We start zoomed out, and then you zoom back in, and then you notice things, and then you fix it. Again, the advantages of digital art. I gotta fix some of the base here too. The base is a little choppy. That's okay. We'll do that in a little bit. We'll get the colors down first, and then I'll go and I'll adjust the base. Let's see. Trying to figure out if I want to put the black anywhere else. I think that's a good amount. So yeah, I'm gonna try that color on the shoulder guard. See how I feel about it. And if it doesn't look good, we can always take the hue slider to it. So I'm gonna do shoulder guard. I don't think I spelled guard right. That looks better. There we go. Sometimes I'm a little bit dyslexic. Only sometimes. Let's see, so let's grab like around here. I'm gonna make it a little more greenish. Then I'm gonna pull it around into here.
There's some ads.
I'm just going to go ahead and use my lasso tool. And that'll go through and clean it up. That way it all gets covered, gets filled in. Also, since they are from the same kingdom, it makes sense for them to have some of the repeating colors in their designs. Plus, if we're going for color theory here, this is also pretty good complement with reds. It's not like, like a Christmas green, but it does have green in it. We don't want her looking like a Christmas tree character, so I think that does pretty well for highlighting near her face. And again, it's diagonally across from Octavius, so I think that works out pretty well for now. We'll see how it looks in the end, though. I kind of want to use this color, but like darker and less saturated, like down here too, I think would be good. So let's do that. Let's desaturate the hell out of it. Bring it over here. Yeah. Like this isn't going to be the same over here where it's like Octavia stuff is more like metal like plate kind of like armor here. I have Roa over here with more of like a thicker leather because she's wielding a scythe, so she needs to be more maneuverable. And it also shows like the difference in the status between them. Like she's a queen, so she's got like the better equipment versus Roa, who working with like leather with the leather, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's gonna work out pretty well. But again, we can always change this if we need to. Like if I start to get through it and I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that, I can always go back and change it. Oh crap! I need to. That actually kind of needs to be under the dark stuff. Let's see if I can get away with that without messing up what I did up here. Nah, it's still good. Okay, cool. Actually, let's put that. Oh, actually, got all the way in there. Let's go all the way underneath. There we go. So, yeah, I think that looks okay. I might make it. I could tint it a little more blue too.
Oh, like oxidized.
So let's see how it looks like that. What'd you say?
Oh, I was reading chat and I think they're talking about oxidized.
Oh yeah, yeah. Havoc was talking about like oxidized copper. So let's make this a little more. I'm gonna make it a little more blue down here. Maybe even more. Like that, and then maybe bring it back up this way. I think that looks a little bit better down there. So we got that, and might make this part the same color here, because like I said, I don't want to like over complicate the color palette too much. And of course I can always change it if I need to. So let's take a look at it and see how I feel about it, and if I'm not feeling it, then we can change it. And what I'm thinking too is this is also a pretty large area, so I'll probably put a different pattern on it than I did that I'm going to do with the red. The red's going to have a pattern or like a texturing to it, so I'm kind of thinking, since there's Octavia's got some gold accents up here, I might be able to pull that off on top of this this greenish color. It might look pretty good. But we're just playing here. We're figuring it out. Nothing's final yet. You know, doing of course the Rhino tuna technique, where anywhere there is a large swath of a character piece, you want to put some sort of like pattern or detail of some kind onto it. That way it's not just like a plain area, and it also helps like guide the eyes around and stuff. So, and we also want things to be more desaturated as they get away from the point of interest, so we need the saturation to be higher up here. So let's see. So we'll stick with that for now, and then if we need to change it, we can. Oops, because I brought that down, I need to get rid of some of this red because of my layer order. So we'll just, oops, that's not what I want. Do this. Do that. And I see it didn't get filled in all the way up there, so let me go back to it. Color pick. Yeah, I gotta fix the base because the base is a little janky. Well, that's okay. I'm not gonna do that right now, like on stream. That's not fun to watch. All right. I might even put some of the red maybe like in some of these like leather parts. Might be kind of cool. So let's see. Let's play with it real fast and see how it looks. If it looks weird, then we'll not do it. Well, that looks kind of nice. Kind of breaks up the color a little bit. Kind of like that. And I'll put just like a little bit under around that maybe. Let's see, is there anywhere else I could try that with? I don't really want to do it on the belt because the belt is breaking up the red there. Maybe I can do a little bit up here on the glove area. Maybe. Thinking. Maybe I could do it in there. Might look okay. And then maybe like on the inside of the glove here. And let me erase away this because this is like a part that overlaps. Like that. Like, it's okay for things like to be like the same color material in different areas. It's just nice to, just to play here and there and see how it looks. And, you know, again, because we're working digitally, we can always go back and change it if we need to. Oops, that's not what I want. I want this. Make sure that's all filled in. Oops, this didn't get all filled in here. So let me grab that color. Let's see. Could make this like whole glove back here red. I might make it stand out. Even though it's like mostly in shadow, there's still like a little bit of light like peeking through. So it might be neat to have it be red down here. That way it also doesn't get like completely like lost in the image. Just kind of subtle down there, you know. Oops, and then some of the base didn't come all the way through. Let me grab that real quick. Yeah, I really need to go through and clean up the base, that's for sure, before I commit to like doing actual like rendering. We're just going to be doing the mostly the base colors here. That's what we're probably going to end up doing today. Why are you not filling in right there? Is this not the red? It is the red. Oh, maybe the base didn't get filled in down there either. Let's fix that. I know sometimes when I go to do like the selection on some of the lines, sometimes it just does not fill in all the spots. So I usually have to go through and go back and do like some editing. That's so weird. Why is it not going over that? Huh. It's doing it over here. I don't know. I might have to come back to it and just fix that in a little bit. Just for the sake of getting everything planned out. Do the most important parts first. I'm kind of thinking this lip around here might also be fine to be red as well. Because it's kind of like bringing us the attention back up this way. So let's do that. Yeah, I think that looks good. Again, red like is the color that you use to symbolize like, either passion or action. So we're not just picking colors willy-nilly here. We're trying to relate those colors to like what's going on in the image itself. Josh obviously feels very passionate about her lover being killed. That's a pretty good reason to overthrow your queen, if you ask me. My humble opinion. Alright. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool so far. Save. And then Let's do that. We'll do that. Yeah, at least in the top 5 reasons to overthrow a queen, right? Yeah. That's funny. I like it. Other than the obvious reasons that, like, monarchies just fucking suck. Alright, let's see. Trying to think of what I want to do for the scythe. I don't want the scythe to be too similar to the colors of the character. Oh yeah, let me get some water. Good call. Thank you, Pansy. Uh hmm. We could use some of the colors, I think, on the scythe. I think would be okay. Could probably use like the blacks and the reds and then do like some gold accents, because I was going to put some gold accents on like the belt and maybe some of the studs on the leather where they connect. Either gold or silver. I haven't decided yet. So we can go from there. So it is kind of nice to stick to like a similar color packet with color palette with things, and then just change the rendering so the material shows that it's a different material. So it's gonna, this is gonna be like more metallic, and then around the wraps here, I'll probably make the wraps red, and then we'll have a different material quality to that, so it's more of like a cloth. So let's start with dark scythe parts. And then we could actually have like the blade of the scythe be like a more like a brighter, more saturated color to bring like the attention, the focus, like here. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we'll start with like the black parts. So we'll make the majority of it black, and then we'll just have like a little bit here and there that has the red, and then we'll figure out what color specifically we want for the blade. Like these metallic parts and everything, of course, will be rendered in a way that they're like have a lot more contrast. Like they'll be have like high shine level, high gloss level to them because it's metal. Let's see. Yeah, so the majority of this we'll do black, and then we'll have, like I said, our accent colors. This is kind of like an over piece that goes over top of the blade parts, so we got to figure out what's under and what's over. So all this is over pieces. Until we get to the blade. Actually, the blade starts here too. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. We'll have it that it like kind of starts in this part right here. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? That would make sense. I mean, scythes are generally like associated with death, and vultures are carrion birds, so they eat the dead. The blade could like have some like super like edgelord name like Death Eater or something. The black blade of death eating. Could be something really stupid like corpse muncher. Just a little snack, you know. Sometimes I just feel like some corpses, you know. I get a little peckish. All right, yeah. So I think if we put red on the handle part, and then we'll pick like a really like saturated like light color for the blade. Oh yeah. I mean, somebody's got to clean it up, right? Let's do this actually underneath. No, go in the right spot layer. Do that and that, and we'll do red side parts. Make sure I'm labeling everything so I know what I'm doing. Staying organized is really important. Alright, and I can go ahead and just do this number because I filled in all this black. Well, I gotta be careful because it is gonna go over the hand. Yep, that's what I thought. So, let me go through here and cut that out. Boop. I'm a problem solver. Yeah. And we'll just put some red over this area here. And then here. Like that. There. Make sure I got it all over top of these lines because I don't want it to look weird when I do my finalized, where I put the colors over top of all the lines. Oops, that spot never got filled in on the glove. I'll have to fix that real quick. Shoot doop de whoop. Easy fix. There's still some red over top. And then we're missing some a little bit there. And there. Doing flats is definitely like the worst part of the process in my opinion. It's like, yeah, it's cool like, you know, figuring out the colors, but really the rendering is the actual fun part. Because then, you know, you can see the results of like your choices and whatnot, and you're like, yeah, I did a good job. This actually might have also needed to be black. yeah, this is all this part is black here. So let me get to that because it's part of the metallic aspects of it. The basically the cover, the sheath part where it goes into the handle. Figuring this out and to make it still look 3D was a bitch. But I did it. So, go me. I can do the thing when I need to. That's the important part. Thanks. I'm glad you like it, Patsy. I think it looks pretty cool too. There. So we got that. So, ooh, if the blade itself was gold, that might be kind of cool, and it would bring like a ton of attention to the face area. Let's try that. Let's see how that looks. We'll try just the tip of some gold. Because I do plan on putting like either gold or silver accents. So if the gold works out, I can use that in other spots as well. Just like a more desaturated version of it. I can spell scythe. Scythe blade. Bam. There we go. There's no spell check on my layers anyway, so if it's wrong, you're not my babysitter. Alright, we're going to leave this somewhat saturated, so I could even make it a little like redder, like more like a rose gold. Might be kind of cool. Question mark. Looks kind of peach right now, but trust the process. It'll be more gold. That's true. I could throw some gems on the scythe too, like maybe in some of these areas. That might be kind of neat. Well, it's like it's kind of weird too. Like when putting down like base colors, like I have the final results like in my head. You know what I mean? Like when I'm done like rendering it. So sometimes just displaying like base colors, people might not be able to know what you're thinking as far as that goes. I mean, you do still want to get your client's input, of course. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to just completely leave the client out of the process, but sometimes it's important to make sure that you can convey like the whole vision. You know what I mean? Like, I can always go back and do adjustments as well. So let's see. So now I do want to do some accents. And I think for that, I'm going to desaturate this even more because they are farther away from the. Well, actually, you know what? Some of these are actually pretty close to the face, so I could use the same. Um, I could use the same accents up there and then desaturate them as they get farther away. That might be a good idea. Let's stick with good ideas. Alright, so make a new layer and stick it in a folder. Clip that. A rose gold accents. I mean, and honestly, I get nervous sometimes sending like progress to like clients. Like, oh no, what if they hate everything I just did? But if they do, you know what? It's your job to go through and make like the adjustments that they want because you know they're paying you for it. So don't be resistant to feedback. It's okay to like present your reasoning, but like if they really just don't want it, you need to go with what they want because they are essentially your temporary boss. Did I have a design between the two here that you would like more to work with? Um, I don't know. I mean, like I'm pretty happy with both of the designs that I came up with for this. I don't know. Like I definitely went through several different like tries with both of them for this particular image. Uh, until I found something like I was really happy with. Um, I don't know. A lot of it had to do with like coming up with like outfits that fit like the theme of everything that was going on and like the practicality of like the designs for what they were doing, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think the gold is looking pretty good as like the little splotches of accent here, like the little gold studs. Because as far as I'm aware from the lore, this character is essentially like the number two in the kingdom, if I'm remembering that right. So it's not like her equipment would be like totally shoddy. It's just not going to be like on the level of like the queen. So now I'm going to desaturate a little bit. Oh no, like I loved I had fun designing both of them. Like, for me it's like it's also like it's really nice that there was more than one character cuz I often don't do two characters from the same universe like essentially in the same scene, so it's like really really good practice. It's a really good way to make sure that your character work all exists in the same universe. You can like come up with like the coolest character design in the world, and then if you throw it in with another character which you didn't consider being in the same universe, then it'll just look like super out of place. You'd be like, whoa, spot the stand user basically like although the spot the stand user meme is just hilarious because it's like 100% what you expect from JoJo. So it's not like it's an unnatural thing to have some completely wild looking character just wearing like a chandelier on their head or something like yeah, hey, that's what I'm hoping for here. Like Havoc and I do have a webcomic that we are working on. Uh, one I need to really start trying my best to dedicate some more time to, but it does have a shared universe between various projects and stories that we have come up with. So I was actually kind of annoyed that the MCU decided to do that. I'm like, no, that was my idea.
No, it's a common idea. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I know it existed like well before I was born because I was born in the 80s, so Marvel existed before that.
Well, I mean, it's before that too.
Yeah. But I was thinking about it, well, because now people are starting to get like fatigue with that kind of thing, so it's like,
I think I just have fatigue with Marvel.
yeah, I think it'll be
I don't
fine
think
because
it's.
Havoc is amazing as a writer, so
Yeah, I mean, writers do that a lot. Like H.P. Lovecraft did that. It's not uncommon.
yeah. Uh, is she streaming too?
I don't know.
If she is, I need to pop into her stream once I get off there so I can help get her some views.
It's funny.
Oh, I meant to go in and change her settings so I can raid her.
Oh yeah, we can do that later. And that way we can be rates. Because I want to start streaming again too.
Yeah. If you guys like gaming content, my my good my good friend Little Nugget does gaming content. So I believe she's streaming at the same time. She streams a long time, so I'll probably be done and she'll probably still be streaming. I tried to raid her the other day, but her settings were set so I couldn't raid her, even though she wants raids. So I will drop her name in the chat. So if you guys want to give her a follow and maybe check out her content as well, that would be super cool. I also drew her VTuber model. So, shameless self plug there. I do make VTuber models as well if anyone is interested. I also made Demon Lord Havocs.
Yeah. I need another computer.
I've actually made quite a few. I made one for Windseeker. I made one for the Book Dragon. They're just gathering up their funds to be able to get it rigged because I don't know how to do rigging. Although I would be a wealthy man if I did. I was thinking about practicing at some point, but I have already committed to so many projects that I need to calm the fuck down and
Yep.
work on one thing at a time.
Yep.
Try not to get too crazy. Three Frogs, I'm a little slow. I think I just realized that you are actually the client. I've been talking about you like you aren't here. I am so sorry. At least you know I have good things to say about my clients. So I just put two and two together because it's a freaking Monday.
That's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Because you just told me you had to not too long ago that you had to get back into your email so you could join the streams, and my brain finally just had that like little like spark where the one brain cell like finally like activated. I'm so sorry. I'm super happy you're here. Everybody, this is the person that has commissioned me. They are super cool. They're very nice. They're very patient, and I enjoy the fact that they are now here to also hang out. So be nice to them. I could probably put a couple more gold accents on the scythe here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should just leave it right there because that would be like the ideal place for the attention to be. I think what I'm going to do is roll with this for now. I'm going to work on cleaning up the base, and then I will probably, once I'm done with that, I will probably end the stream because I had oatmeal, and oatmeal never sticks to my bones, so I get really hungry really fast.
Yeah.
A hungry artist does not work that well, so I need the calories for my brain. Yeah, I love Pensie's OCs. One day I will have as many cool OCs as Pensy has when I grow up to be a big VTuber. Actually, a lot of people that are in my community have like a ton of OCs that they put like so much time and effort into. I mean, I have a lot too. I don't know, something about me like when I make an OC, I'm like, I'll use this for something eventually, and then I like forget about them forever. And then I get an art block, and I start looking through my artwork again, and I'm like, oh yeah, this OC was pretty cool. I should do something with them. And then I update them, and then I forget about them again. Luckily, I'm now married to a writer, so now we can do something with those OCs, and they won't just fade into obscurity. I love popping into the Discord and seeing all of the stuff you guys are working on. It makes me like super happy. And I cannot look forward to like seeing your completed projects and, be able to like read the stories that go along with like your OCs and everything. And you guys have been super awesome and have been helping each other out, which is also the purpose of my community. So thank you so much for doing that. I love you guys. Oh crap. Three Frogs knows I speak English really well now, so now I don't have an excuse for my terrible typing. I can't be like, I don't speak English very well. No, I just suck at typing. I have a tendency to try to type really fast, and then I neglect to proofread what I just wrote. And I just send it, and then I look at it, and I'm like, that sentence makes no sense. Son of a bitch. I'm also actually slightly dyslexic like IRL too, so that does not help my cause. That also might be a giant huff of copium, but it's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'm like, I really hope that they know what I'm talking about when I send these messages. Especially like when it's like a half a novella that I'm sending, like explaining things. So yeah, and ADHD, same. Yep, yep, yep. So I'm like, surely I said this because I was thinking it when I typed it, and then I go look at it and I'm like, wow, there's an entire section of that thought process that has not been conveyed whatsoever. And also, like, I noticed that too. Like, when I take a break at night, when I'm playing Final Fantasy, I'm like, wow, all my medicine is worn off. That's why I'm getting my ass kicked right now. All my concentration points have been depleted. I actually did really well against Odin, though. So I was pretty happy about that. I'm just making sure that the silhouette isn't like janky and missing pieces here. Because usually what I do is like I'll select the outside of the lines with the magic wand tool, and then I'll invert that to create the base silhouette that all the colors clip to. And sometimes my lines aren't all connected the way they should be, and things don't get filled in. So then the colors that are placed on top don't show up. So I'm seeing some red actually right here that I need to fill in. There we go. It's always good to, like, I say this all the time, to step away from whatever you're working on for a little while and come back to it, like maybe like an hour or two later, and take a look at it with fresh eyes. That way you can see like any mistakes that you might have been too locked in on what you were doing. Be like, no, it's perfect. I'm like killing it. And then you go back and you look at it and you like flip it, and it's all crazy. You definitely want to do that before you begin rendering as much as you can. That way you haven't just wasted like a ton of your time and efforts only to discover that things are way off. It's definitely harder to do traditionally. I've heard one technique to solve the flipping issue is using a mirror to see if your the thing you've drawn looks right going both directions, and that way you can make adjustments from there. I have never tried that, but it does sound like it would work because it's like exactly the same way pretty much you would check digitally is you just flip your canvas just to see if the proportions are read correctly going both ways. Like I did that a ton with like this line art. Like I had to adjust a lot of the angles of the way the leather was like facing, and um, you know, and it's still not like 100% perfect, but it was close as I could possibly get without driving myself insane. Whoops. There's a difference between like actively checking things and then just being obsessed with like perfection. You want to try to avoid the being obsessed with perfection part. And I know this is a bad thing to say in front of a client, but a lot of the times there are like just little tiny things that might drive you nuts that nobody else will actually notice, especially if it's something where it's going to be viewed on a mobile device. But try your best to get things like correct, and just don't sweat the small stuff. So yeah, like not everybody's gonna have like perfect like grammar or like spelling skills and things like that. So I'm sure as a writer though, you do get like the grammar Nazis that like come out of nowhere, like, actually, it should be those weren't or something, like, just something dumb, just being like overly picky as their underwear is like all the way up in their butt cheeks or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, like like we were talking about with like Lord of the Rings the other day, where they're like describing every leaf on every tree, and it's like, dude, we don't need that. We know what a tree looks like. We can imagine it. I watched Reading Rainbow as a kid. Okay, I think I'm good. I have the power of the imaginations. I have the little SpongeBob pencil character in my head. That episode was so funny. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There needs to be some wiggle room for people to theory craft. Like I'll be like scrolling TikTok, and of course I see tons of stuff for like One Piece like theories, and everybody's trying to figure out the ending. But you know what? That's a good thing for Oda. That means everybody's highly vested in that world, trying to pick apart every little hint or detail that could possibly lead to what the One Piece is and what the ending's going to be, which I think is awesome. A lot of the theories are pretty neat too. Things I certainly didn't think of. I'm like, oh shit, that might actually be that might be it. That might be the One Piece. The One Piece is real. I saw one that was like super crazy last night. It was saying that, and this might actually be spoilers, but freaking, they were talking about how the One Piece is actually the story itself, because Luffy's new powers are rewriting things with like imagination, and the original Joy Boy also used imagination, and they had mentioned that he had found a way to use hockey completely different than anybody else ever has, like essentially like tying the future together with his hockey. And like Emu is like the pen and the demons are the ink, and yada yada yada. It was like a whole convoluted thing, but it was like very interesting. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. That's definitely like somebody like took a recreational drug and was like, this is what I think the One Piece is. It's like high shower thoughts. Bless you. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. I was like, oh, that's a cool theory. But yeah, I could see that too. That it's the journey, the is the actual One Piece, the combination of everybody you've met and you know, became friends with and all that good stuff. So I could see that. I personally don't know what it is either. Like I don't have a good theory for it. I'm just like excited to see what it is, and I hope I live long enough to see what it is. I hope Oda lives long enough to draw it. That poor dude. They're like, you gotta take a break, or you gotta wrap this up. One of the two. Like even the voice actors for like the characters are like 80 fucking years old. Like, I mean, I could see that, like I said, as being the possibility, but oh wait, whoops. This is there's that's over top of it. That's what's going on. I mean, definitely like I mean, obviously him forging the bonds is really important to the story. Like he wouldn't be where he is without like, you know, all the people he's like made connections with. They're like, this goofy motherfucker is so cool. I'm gonna follow him to the ends of the earth and like potentially almost die every single time. No, why? Alright, I think I cleaned up the silhouette enough. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, if you guys have not seen Recreators, that is an amazing anime. So, so good. Oh, yeah, exactly. Alright. So we got the flats laid out. I cleaned up the silhouette here. So I think I'm going to call the stream right now because I am super hungry. So let me go ahead and blow this up so you guys can see. I will move my big ol' VTuber head. Get that out of the way. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Uh, it's going to be a lot of fun to do. It's going to be a lot of fun to do the material rendering, to figure out the different patterning for the clothes and whatnot. Um, yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. So let me go ahead and throw you guys in the lobby so we can wrap this up for today. I want to thank everybody so much for being here and hanging out with me. Thank you so much, Three Frogs, for being in here and, of course, giving me input and being super cool and super chill. You are awesome. If you guys are not already following me, go ahead and give me a follow to see when I go live. If you like the type of concept I do, please consider subscribing. That would help me tremendously. I will be back tomorrow. Most likely, I will be doing more of the rendering on this. I will obviously do some more rendering off screen today. And if I do happen to, by some miracle, finish it up today, I will be doing SJM's OC Art Raffle. I haven't forgot about it. I will definitely complete that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope your week is great if I don't catch you. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bye bye bye.